Hey folks, so today we're going to talk about MLA format, and in part 2 of this video I'll be talking about MLA documentation. Everything that I'll be presenting on comes from the actual MLA handbook, the Modern Language Association handbook, which overviews how to style and format MLA papers, as well as how to cite sources in MLA documentation. So the first thing that I'm going to do is open up Microsoft Word. That should look familiar. And then I'm going to actually change my font to Times New Roman 12. That's not always the standard font, so you'll want to manually change that. Okay, so then I'm going to begin with the student's name. So your name will come first, right? So we'll call the student Smith. The next thing that you do, or the next item, is your instructor's name. So we'll go ahead and write my name there. And then the third piece is actually the course. So for our course, it's English 3000. And then finally, the date. And in MLA format, you actually do day, month, year. So the 24th of September 2017, for example. Okay? And then you'll go ahead and do your title, and this is going to be centered, right? And I'm going to show you how to do a subtitle. So let's say this is Major Essay 1, but that's sort of bland, right? I want a more specific title. You could do a colon, right? This thing right here, and then the actual title of your paper. So maybe it's evaluation of Medora Carter's TED Talk. Okay? So notice that everything remains Times New Roman 12. There's no special style or format or bolding. It's all very streamlined. Okay, so at this point, you'll notice that there's no page numbers, right? So we actually have to insert a page number with our last name, the student's last name. So how do we do that? Well, we just go to Insert, and then over here, you're going to see page number, and you'll put that at the top of the page. And it's the plain number 3 over at the right. So you just click on that, and then you'll notice that you'll go into your header, and you'll need to type your last name. Okay, so in this case, it's Smith. So something you'll notice is that the font is once again off, right? That's not Times New Roman 12. So to change that, you just highlight that, and you can do that again. And then you can change it to Times New Roman 12. And again, you have to do that manually. So for most Microsoft Word programs now, 1-inch margins are the standard. And that is in MLA format, you also use 1-inch margins. If for whatever reason it wasn't 1-inch margins, well, you can go to Layout, Margins, and then actually manually click 1-inch margins, top, left, bottom, right. Okay, but that doesn't change anything because I was already at 1-inch margins. Okay. So at this point, you can go ahead and begin your paper, right? And you'll start with a tab, and then you would start. So in 2014, Medora Carter gave a speech at the TED Talk convention. She discussed her project. Okay, so I'm going to stop there, but I want to show you something. Notice how the spacing is not standard, right? So it goes from sort of big spacing to small spacing. In MLA format, you use double spacing. And again, I want to show you sort of the proper way to do this, because if you just click double spacing, there actually is going to still be something off. So to make sure that it's done correctly, you can highlight your writing. you can actually right-click, which is that button we don't really use much, right? You go right-click, and then you'll go to paragraph. So let me do that one more time. So I've highlighted, I've clicked right, and I go to paragraph. And this is where you can manually change to double spacing and then do a second piece that's required. So in line spacing, I'm going to click double. And then the second thing I need to do is where it says before and after, I need to do 0 and 0. And that is not the standard. So now I have 0, 0, double, and I click OK. And watch what happens. My paper actually grows, right? So it's actually in your benefit to do that properly. So that is how to format or set up your paper in MLA style. And in my second video, I'll be showing you how to actually do citations using MLA format.